Hi guys, Simon Amazing Clark here. I got asked the other day about RV trips. I've done a couple. We did one as part of our 2 months in America trip. So I've put together some slides, bit of talk about my experiences, our experiences. So enjoy and hopefully you'll learn loads. Okay, see you for now. Bye. I want to dispel people's visualization of what a camper or what an RV actually is. What we have here is a VW camper, very well equipped but looking very small. It really wouldn't interest me at all to go on a holiday in something like that. Next we have here a more modern camper with an over the cab sleeping arrangement. This to me looks more like a caravan on wheels and isn't the sort of thing that I would really like to go in. So let's get those pictures out of our mind straight away. The next one we have here is a picture of the first RV that we actually went away in. This is a 27-foot Cruise America RV. Very nice. One of the best first tips I can give you is get an RV that's bigger than you need. There's only my daughter and I in this, even though it's a 7-berth. And we had enough bedding, we had enough room. We didn't use the over-the-cab bed, we used that for extra storage. The Cruise America RVs are equipped minimally but strongly. Their theory is the more things you have, when you have slide outs and things, there's more things to break, more things for them to fix. So don't expect too much with these types of RVs from Cruise America, but they are very solid, they are lovely to run. Here is what the 30-foot RV actually looks like. You'll see from the picture on the right hand side, the top one's in the day configuration, the bottom one's in the night. Plenty of bedrooms for everyone. But you'll also notice there's quite a nice sized galley area with a toilet and a sink next to it. At the bottom of the frame is a shower, so you really do have everything on board that you need. These vehicles do come fitted with a generator on board, so you can provide your own power. You don't have to be plumbed into anywhere, and the tank of water and the sewage tank will last 2 or 3 days at least. This is the first A-Class that I rented, and it was something I was really looking forward to when we'd arrived in Canada. I did this at the end of the first year that we've been there. This is a 36 foot A-Class. You can see it's just like driving a coach. You know, these things are absolutely huge. You're above all the cars, you're above a lot of hedges, and you really can see a lot of where you're going. And here you can see my daughter Amy stood next to the side of the vehicle. The only issue I would say with these vehicles is they really are tall. You'll notice by the door that there's 2 steps sticking out. There's about another 3 or 4 steps inside, so you really do have a long way to go up. But it does enhance the views from the driving position and when you start there looking at wildlife in the evening. So what do these things actually look like inside? Here's a picture I grabbed off the net. If you look towards where the bed is, you can see there's some cabinets on the left hand side and there's a wall on the right. Well, when the slide out is actually in, the edge of the seating will be where that wall ends. So the right hand slide out is out in this particular picture. So you'll see you've got some nice room. You've got a lovely kitchen, microwave oven, standard oven. You know, you've got a Hobby extractor fan, and you've got your double sink. These vans really are mobile hotels. So what do they actually like to drive? Well, there you go. There's me being serious. You notice I'm sat on a leather seat. You know, all the steering controls are fairly standard. They all have cruise control. They're all automatics, that's easy. I did find in this particular vehicle, though, that it does work a lot better when you use the keys that they provide rather than trying to use your own car keys. We had a rather awkward hour with that. So, when you're thinking about staying, this is a company that we came across. We've never actually stayed at any of their sites, but the Camping Ground of America, KOA, they're quite popular. I don't know how many sites they actually have. I know there's several hundred all over America. I don't know if you get a discount if you join them. I imagine you probably do. But there's just one place to have a look at. Here's another one that I found. This one you do get a discount on campsites. Again, it's somebody I haven't used. I did have a membership to another club, but I can't remember who that club was. But if you are going for a week or a couple of weeks, it's certainly well worthwhile looking into. So what does it actually feel like to be away in one of these? Well, here's a picture of the Elmont RV that we had. This is parked down in Key Largo. So we've got the slide outs out, we're all plumbed in, that's all hidden out of the way. And we're right next to the water. It's an absolutely beautiful view. I did quite fancy going swimming in there, But where it says slow 6 miles an hour, above that there's a sign. It says caution, please do not feed the crocodiles. I didn't fancy going swimming there after that. So I searched on the internet and I came across several pictures. If you had to go up in places like the Rockies, or up in the hills and out of the way, this is the sort of thing you might be able to find. I don't know. Some parks allow you to go in and park up, some don't. Some will have little RV slots where they actually have plumbed in. They might have at least electricity in or something, I don't know. It all depends what you can find and really what you're after. Here's another super shot. This is actually a towed RV, more like a standard UK caravan. But, if being out in nature and being like by a lake is really what you're looking for, then, that's the ideal sort of place to go to. A more typical campsite to be in would look something like this. They do generally have a lot of trees. You do get quite nice big slots, big areas. So you can see in the front of this picture there's like an empty driveway in front of us. That'll be an RV slot. Each one has a little table next to it. They're quite nicely laid out. These slots are sort of back in and drive out slots, which can be a little bit more difficult. This site that's in obviously a lot hotter area has got a drive in, drive out slot. These can be great. You just drive in, plug in the external power down the legs, power the slide outs, turn the aircon on, grab a couple of cold beers out the fridge and sit at the table or light the barbecue up. It is nice and easy. As I was saying, the vans can be very self-sufficient. This is our first night in Key Largo. We didn't have any electricity or anything on this site. They said, look, we've got an overflow spot if you want it. It's like $20-30 a night, whatever it was. You're free to have one of those slots if you want. We've got some space, but there's no plugins on it. So, we've got water on board, you've got the generator on board. You can do the air conditioning on. Did get rather warm at night though. So how long does it take to actually set one of these vans up when you get onto a site? Well, here's a picture of, it's actually another Cruise America van. But you see the white cable coming out the back is for the water, so it's connected up to that. So you got constant running water. You got the big grey pipe running across, which is the sewage. Be very careful connecting those and disconnecting those. I won't say why. And then there's also a black cable coming out the bottom of the van, which is the electricity. 2 minutes, literally, you can be parked up 2 minutes, someone's opened the beers, you've connected everything up, and away you go. Now, so what do these RVs actually cost? I've done 2 quotes here, both for Birmingham, Alabama, and both from the 16th of September 2013 to the 23rd of September 2013. One thing I will say about Cruise America is if you were to try and book an RV 6 months out, you're going to get a really, really cheap price. The closer it is to the time that you want to go that you book it, the price goes up. If they've got 100 vans and they have no bookings, they'll be dirt cheap. If they've got one van left, then they'll be more expensive. And sometimes, as you see in this example, they've got a limited number of the larger RVs. One thing I really do like about Cruise America is all the vehicles are fully insured, and that's including the price that you see on the screen in front of you. So that if anything happens to the vehicle, they pay for it, they fix it, they sort it out. So that's not an issue at all. So that can be a worry that's gone. Do remember that VAT is added in America after you see the price. You'll notice at the bottom here, there's kitchen kits and personal kits. The big RV that we had, in fact the first 2 RVs that we had, we were living in Canada at the time, so we could actually take things from home. So we took our bedding, our pots and pans, knives and forks, our camp stuff effectively. So that saved us though sort of $200 or so for the 2 of us. I've got another example here for the Elmont RV. Prices are fairly sort of similar. There's not an awful lot of difference. Again, on another page with Elmont, you got personal convenience kits and the kitchen kits. To be honest with you, when we had the 3rd RV down the Florida Keys, we didn't take these kits. We drove to Walmart, we bought pillows, we bought bedding, we bought blankets, a couple of pounds, cheap set knife, fork, spoons, and all the kitchen stuff that we needed. We spent less than $200 on a week's shopping and the kit that we needed. Alternatively, you can go to Goodwill, go and buy it second hand and just use it for a week, or when you're finished with it, take it to Goodwill. Goodwill is an American charity organisation. That they'd be quite happy to take the bits of equipment off you that you got left over, bedding, blankets, cookware, etc. Okay, one thing I do want to just mention here is if you're looking for a cheap holiday in America, then an RV is not the way to go. You can get cheap motel rooms for between $40 and $70 a night. So $300, $400, $500 a week. We'll see you in a motel. Maybe about the same for a hire car. So you can do it for a lot less than this. Plus, the cars over there do a lot more miles per gallon than these RVs do. But if it's the experience that you're after, travelling around in the Class A bus style RV, as shown at the bottom of this picture, it's like taking a luxury hotel with you. It really is. Plus, you've got all your own kitchen stuff there. You don't have to change rooms every night. You know what you've got. You know what the bed feels like. So that's really good. Speaking of economy, an A-Class RV, you're looking at about 8 miles per gallon. Now, don't be too alarmed. The 8 miles per gallon is per US gallon, and a US gallon smaller than a UK gallon. Plus, the fuel is only about $3.50 a gallon. So, for 500 miles, you'd use 62 gallons. In this example, about $220. $160 is £100, so you're talking £130 or so for 500 miles. The C-Class do look a bit more. They do about 10 miles to the gallon. Great figure I got off the internet this morning was someone suggested a ballpark figure 3 miles to the dollar. So when you're working out your route, divide by 3 and that's dollars. That's a rough figure of what it's going to be like. Obviously it depends where you're driving and how you're driving, what speed you're going. There is a lot of altitude change in America. I was shocked when we did our drive around in the 2 Months in America book, which is due out very shortly. We were driving 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 feet. That really does affect the fuel economy of these big vehicles. It affected the car that I was in. The large A-Class that we rented, I was really surprised. It had just over a quarter of a tank in. We drove for about half an hour. It's now under a quarter of a tank, and there's a petrol station just up the road, a gas station, as they call them. So I pulled in. You put the $100 in, like you fill your tank up over here. I thought, I'll see us to the campground that we're going to. Jumped back in, set off, and it had only gone a quarter of a tank. You're talking $300 to $400 to fill these tanks up. A full tank will last you 3 or 4 days, but obviously depends how far you go. Hi guys, hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learnt loads. The one thing I didn't mention was that the second RV that we had, the big one, actually came from a company that just rents out RVs. Both the Elmont dealership that we went to and the Cruise America dealership we went to were connected to car hire places, and their standards weren't quite up to what we would have expected. Bits fell off, bits were missing. So just check out the size of these places when you're looking to book in them. Anyway, so happy RVing, and I'll talk to you again soon. You take care. Bye bye.